3 nights after my grandmother died, I woke up to the smell of her perfume filling my bedroom. There was no logical explanation. And according to Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet who channeled over 14,000 readings, this wasn't coincidence, it was communication. What he revealed about the departed changes everything we think we know about death. In the next 13 minutes, I'm going to share 7 specific signs that Edgar Cayce documented throughout his readings. Signs that prove your loved ones haven't left you, they've just changed form. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to recognize these messages, why they're happening to you right now, and what the departed are trying to tell you through each one. This isn't about grief, this is about connection that transcends death itself. You're going about your day when suddenly you smell your father's cologne, your mother's cooking, or flowers that remind you of someone who passed. You look around, there's no source. You dismiss it as imagination, but it keeps happening. Edgar Cayce explained that those who've transitioned exist in a dimension where thought creates reality instantly. When they think of you with love, that emotional energy can manifest as scent, because smell is our most memory-linked sense. In reading 57564, Cayce stated that the departed use vibrations in the ether to reach us through our most primitive sensory channels. The next time you experience an unexplained scent connected to someone you've lost, don't rationalize it away. Instead, pause. Close your eyes. Say their name silently or aloud. Thank them for reaching out. Then pay attention to what thought or memory surfaces immediately after. That's often the message they're sending. A woman in one of Cayce's readings reported smelling roses, her late sister's favorite, whenever she felt overwhelmed by a decision. Cayce revealed her sister was affirming you're on the right path. The scent always appeared before positive outcomes. Comment below if you've experienced this. What scent reminds you of your loved one? Lights flicker when you're thinking about them. Your phone acts strange. Electronics turn on or off by themselves. You think your house has faulty wiring, but electricians find nothing wrong. Cayce taught that consciousness is electromagnetic energy. When we die, we don't lose our consciousness. We become pure energy. In reading 262-85, he explained that spirits in the borderland between dimensions can manipulate electromagnetic fields because they are electromagnetic fields. They're literally trying to say, "I'm here," in the only language they can use in our physical world. Keep a simple journal. Note when electrical anomalies occur, what you were thinking or feeling, and any immediate events that followed. You'll start seeing patterns. Many people discover these disruptions happen right before they receive needed comfort or warnings about situations. Cayce documented a case where a man's lights flickered every time he considered a bad business deal. His departed father had lost everything in similar ventures. The flickering stopped when he declined the deal, and later learned it was fraudulent. Hit like if lights have ever flickered at a meaningful moment for you. You dream about them, but this dream feels unlike any other. It's hyper-realistic. They seem healthy, peaceful, radiant. They might deliver a message. You wake up feeling they were actually there, because they were. This is perhaps Cayce's most documented phenomenon. He called these visitation dreams and distinguished them from regular dreams by their clarity and lasting emotional impact. In reading 136-18, Cayce stated, "For dreams are of various natures and characters. Some are true, some are false. Some are produced by the superconscious forces, others by purely physical conditions. True visitation dreams occur in what Cayce called the interspace, a meeting ground between dimensions where the barrier is thinnest. During deep sleep, our consciousness partially exits the physical body, making genuine contact possible. Here's what makes a visitation dream different. First, the departed appears healthy and whole, regardless of how they died. Second, the dream has a complete narrative with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Third, you wake with absolute certainty you've met them. Fourth, the emotional impact lasts for days or weeks, not minutes. When you have one, write it down immediately. The departed often delivers specific messages about family situations, hidden documents, or even future events. In reading 294-159, a widow dreamed her husband showed her where he'd hidden updated insurance papers she didn't know existed. She found them in exactly that location, behind a loose board he'd never mentioned. The papers secured her financial future. What's your biggest takeaway so far? Drop a comment. A meaningful object appears somewhere it couldn't possibly be. Their favorite coin on your pillow. A photo you'd packed away sitting on your desk. A feather in your closed car. You live alone, and there's no explanation. Cayce termed this apportation, the movement of objects across space through mental energy. In reading 57568, he explained that those in the spirit dimension can briefly affect physical matter by lowering their vibration and raising ours simultaneously. They choose objects with emotional significance because the emotional connection makes the energetic bridge stronger. Pay special attention to timing. These objects almost always appear when you're struggling emotionally, facing a major decision, or on significant dates, anniversaries, birthdays, or holidays. The object itself carries meaning. A coin might mean, you'll have what you need. A feather often means, I'm free and you should be too. Their favorite flower means, I'm sending you love. One of Cayce's readings described a mother who kept finding her son's military dog tags in different rooms, though she'd buried him wearing them. Cayce revealed the son was showing her, the truth cannot be buried, and she later discovered he'd died heroically saving others, not in the accident she'd been told about. Your pet stares intensely at empty space. They follow something invisible with their eyes. They act excited or calm for no apparent reason. You feel crazy noticing this. Animals, Cayce taught, perceive dimensions humans have educated away. In reading 3744-2, he stated that animals still possess what he called the sense beyond sense, the ability to perceive spiritual frequencies because they haven't developed the mental filters that block adult human perception. When your pet reacts to seeming emptiness, they're responding to a presence that exists on a frequency your conscious mind filters out. But your beloved departed can project. Watch where your pet focuses. Notice when it happens, morning, evening, during emotional moments. Many report their pets react most strongly to spirits during twilight hours, which Cayce called the thin times, when dimensions overlap. Don't dismiss your pet's behavior. Instead, speak aloud. I know someone's here. I'm open to their presence. You might suddenly feel temperature changes, emotional shifts, or intuitive downloads. Example: Cayce documented a widow whose cat would purr and rub against a specific chair every evening at 6 p.m., exactly when her husband used to arrive home. When she finally sat in the chair at that time, she felt overwhelming peace and smelled his aftershave. You keep seeing their birthday numbers. Clock times repeat in patterns: 11:11, 3:33, 12:12. License plates, receipts, phone numbers all echo the same digits. You think you're looking for patterns, but the patterns are finding you. Cayce taught that the universe is mathematical consciousness expressing itself. In reading 281-24, he explained that those who've transitioned can influence the probability streams of physical reality to create meaningful coincidences. Numbers are universal language. They transcend cultural and linguistic barriers. Your loved ones collaborate with what Cayce called the universal forces to place specific numbers in your awareness path repeatedly until you notice. Research the numerological significance of the numbers you're seeing. In Cayce's system, 11 means spiritual awakening, 3 means communication and growth, 4 means foundation and protection, 7 means spiritual completion. When you see repeating numbers, pause and ask internally, what do I need to know right now? The next thought that surfaces is usually the message. A man kept seeing 444 everywhere after his brother's death. Cayce's numerology associates 4 with foundation and protection. The man later realized every time he saw 444, he was about to make an impulsive decision. His brother was saying, build carefully, I'm protecting you. Drop a comment with any repeating numbers you keep seeing. You suddenly know something you couldn't know. You hear advice in their voice. You make a decision that feels like it came from them, not you. You doubt yourself, wondering if you're inventing it. This is the highest form of after-death communication. Cayce called it soul-to-soul transmission in reading 575611. He taught that we're all connected through what he termed the Christ consciousness, a universal field of loving intelligence. Those who've died aren't separated from this field. They're immersed in it. They can impress thoughts, feelings, and knowing directly into your consciousness, especially when you're relaxed, creative, or in nature. Learn to distinguish their thoughts from yours. Their communications feel loving, never fear-based, wise beyond your usual thinking, perfectly timed to your need, accompanied by emotional warmth or peace, aligned with their personality and values. Practice this. Sit quietly. Think of them. Ask a specific question. Then silence your mind and receive without forcing. The first clear thought or feeling that arrives, if it meets the criteria above, is likely genuine communication. Cayce read for a businessman who suddenly knew, with absolute certainty, to take a different route home. It saved his life. His usual route was blocked by a fatal accident. He felt his deceased father's presence all day before it happened. The intuitive warning was unmistakable. Here's what Edgar Cayce understood that changes everything. Death isn't an ending. It's a change in expression. Your loved ones aren't gone. They've expanded beyond physical limitation. And here's the truth that most people miss. These signs aren't random occurrences. They're your departed loved ones working within spiritual law to maintain connection, because love doesn't die when the body does. They're not haunting you. They're honoring the bond you share. So let me ask you, how many of these 7 signs have you experienced and dismissed? The sense, the electrical phenomena, the dreams that felt too real, the impossible objects, your pet's reactions, the repeating numbers, the intuitive knowing. Your departed loved ones are speaking a language you're finally learning to hear. Drop a comment telling me which of these 7 signs you've experienced. This community is built on shared experiences, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Remember, the veil between worlds is thinner than you think, and love is the bridge that spans it.